Boots against Ortiz.
If Boots get hurt like he did the last time, Ortiz gonna finish him.
Wow.
So he got to tighten up his defense.
10 steps behind you, right?
He got to tighten up his defense. He got to stop exchanging. I know
Vergil is going to get in the ring with you. You think he wants to fight you at this point? I know y'all had whatever y'all had before, but I mean, it's a new day, new division, like you here now. So do you think that fight can be made?
I don't know. I hope so. We went all the way down to his fight by ourselves. They ain't pay for nothing. We paid for our own flight, hotel, our own ticket. We went all the way down there to him and Lubin fight. I get all the way in the ring and all that stuff. We arguing back and forth. I'm thinking it's done. I get out the ring. I'm thinking it's done. I wake up the next day. I hear him talking about some Errol Smith's dream fight. I'm like, hey, bro, it just in there. I'm like, what's going on? That's like him coming to my fight. We getting in front of each other, and I'm like, Danny Garcia, my dream fight. Like, right. the fans be going crazy. Like, yo, I don't know, it's crazy. But I thought that fight was done. Hopefully do. If not, whatever, so be it. Like I said, I'm down here. I'm already. This is my second fight at this weight class, and I'm already a unified champion. He's been at this weight class for how long now? So I don't know. So yeah.
Right now, I think Boots will fight anybody at 154. You heard it from him. He said he'll fight anybody. Anybody with a belt. Or anybody that's a top dog. And just speaking of that fight with Vergil, it's going to be like a Stanionis type of beatdown. That's what it's going to be.
Junior, he said, that if Ennis gets hurt the way he did against Saez, Ortiz will be the one to finish the job. Unlike Saez, Crawford argued Ennis needs to tighten up his defense and cut down on unnecessary exchanges, acknowledging that, while Ennis is faster and more explosive than most fighters at his level, he has shown a tendency to get careless and fight just for the sake of fighting.
He got to tighten up his defense. He got to stop exchanging. I know he's faster than most. He's more explosive than most, but at the same time, he's shown in the past that he can get careless and that he's going out there just to fight, and I don't think when you get higher and higher, that's going to be enough.
Eddie said this would be a massive fight, you versus him.
Crawford referenced a long-running conversation with promoter Vetty Hearn about a potential Crawford versus Ortiz super fight, saying he'd challenged Hearn before his own Canelo fight to financially back the matchup if he truly believed in Ortiz, and that Hearn declined to put money behind it.
Huge.
Eddie been talking about that for a long time. But the crazy thing about it is I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, this is before Canelo. I said, Eddie, you keep talking about this fight so much. Put your money up. Eddie said, I'm not paying for that fight. I said, why not? You believe in your fighter? I'm not paying for that fight. I said, I rest my case.
Crawford pushed back on that framing, saying that if Saez did quit, his corner should have made that call for him rather than leaving it in his hands. He characterized Saez as simply inexperienced, explaining that glancing toward the corner during a tough moment is a normal survival instinct, not a sign of quitting, and said he wouldn't label Saez that way given he never had to step into the ring against Ennis in the first place.
Well, I just look at him as inexperienced. Like he really just gave his corner the opportunity to do whatever they wanted. That's how I see it.
Okay. Meaning when he looked over to them?
Right.
Okay.
But that's what you taught. You taught when you get a knockdown or if you get hurt, look at your corner. So I wouldn't say that he quit because he took the big step in getting in there when he didn't have to.
Looking ahead, Jaron Ennis said he wants at least one more fight before year's end as he pursues undisputed status at 154 pounds, calling this stretch of his career a legacy tour. He named Sebastian Fundora, Vergil Ortiz Jr., and Josh Kelly as the other title holders in the division, and expressed hope, though uncertainty, that a fight with Ortiz could still happen.
The ring, what you think he wants to fight you at this point? I know y'all had whatever y'all had before, but I mean, it's a new day, new division, like you here now. So do you think that fight can be made?
I don't know. I hope so. We went all the way down to his fight by ourselves. They ain't pay for nothing. We paid for our own flight, hotel, our own ticket. We went all the way down there to him and Lubin fight. I get all the way in the ring and all that stuff. We arguing back and forth. I'm thinking it's done. I get out the ring. I'm thinking it's done. I wake up the next day. I hear him talking about some Errol Spence's dream fight. I'm like, hey, bro, it just in there. I'm like, what's going on? That's like him coming to my fight. We getting in front of each other, and I'm like, Danny Garcia, my dream fight. Like,
Right.
the fans be going crazy. Like, yo, I don't know, it's crazy. But I thought that fight was done. Hopefully do. If not, whatever, so be it. Like I said, I'm down here. I'm already. This is my second fight at this weight class, and I'm already a unified champion. He's been at this weight class for how long now? So I don't know. So like I said, I'm here to collect these belts and take over this division. So, I ain't doing too much waiting around for nobody.
On balancing legacy versus finances, Ennis said money matters given his financial responsibilities. But that being remembered as a fighter who cleaned out multiple weight classes and never lost matters just as much to him.
What's your balance, Boots, with the legacy thing and then making sure you get your paper and getting your chicken in negotiations? Like, what's the balance between like not giving too much and just being all legacy, but also being a businessman and a guy that's about legacy?
I mean, well, the older I'm getting now, of course it's the money, because I gotta eat. I got family. I got stuff. I got business. I got cribs. I got house. I got stuff going on. So of course it's the money too, but that legacy really important to me as well too, because you gotta stamp yourself. I don't want to be one of those boxers where they forget about you. You feel me? And I want to be one of those boxers where, like, when I retire as an undefeated, legend, I want them to be like then he did everything. He for everybody. He beat everybody. He moved up multiple weight classes and took over like every division he was at. And I want to leave that mark,
Couple more and I'm going to let you get out of here.
Legendary promoter Bob Arum reflected on Xander Zayos' performance against Jaron Ennis, admitting that he would have preferred Zayos to gain more experience before taking such a dangerous fight. However, Arum respected the young champion's willingness to challenge himself, and music pointed to the success. Zayos had, in certain moments, particularly during the third round, as evidence of his potential.
Well, I think, we would have preferred Xander not to take that fight because he was young and wasn't really ready. But he insisted that he wanted that fight. And it may not turn out so bad. Because, as you said, people remember that round where he had Boots in a lot of trouble, the third round.
Yeah. Discussing a hypothetical showdown between Ennis and Terence Crawford, our room made it clear that he still views Crawford as one of boxing's most difficult puzzles to solve. He described Crawford as a rare fighter capable of switching seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances while maintaining elite effectiveness from both positions.
I don't know, Crawford is an awfully good fighter. And, it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw or as a right-hander. And so when you train for a fight, usually the fighter he's fighting trains for him as an orthodox fighter, right-handed fighter. And so from the first round on, he'll turn southpaw. And the guy isn't ready for him. That's what beat Spence. Spence trained for the fight like he was fighting an orthodox fighter in Terence, and Terence fought him as a southpaw.
Trainer Brian McIntyre was asked whether Jaron Boots Ennis is ushering in his own era of boxing. Similar to how Terence Crawford once distinguished his generation from Floyd Mayweather's, the Boots era, acknowledging Ennis as a great fighter, but pointing out that he still has to share the stage with other young active talents, like Shakur Stevenson and Naoya Ino.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that, I'm just curious because I know Terence, he had his era and he was very complimentary in the sense of like, look, it's like Floyd and me, like, that's never going to happen. And in a case like this is like the Boots era, right? So, I mean, with you who understands multi-divisions, like, do you kind of see Jaron kind of being one of those next guys, if anything, kind of following the footprints of?
I think he have to. I mean, he's a great fighter. He can start his own era like what he's doing now, but he got a lot of guys he got to compete with, like Shakur. You know, he got Inoue. You know, those guys are young and still fighting. So
Yeah.
I ain't gonna really call it the Boots era. I just think he's a great fighter in the era with other guys that can say this was my era.
McIntyre expanded on the broader landscape at 147 and 154 pounds, naming Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Sebastian Fundora alongside Ennis as part of a 50-50th tier where no clear favorite exists until they actually fight each other. He noted that Ortiz has a track record of finishing opponents once he hurts them, while Fundora's height and range have allowed him to steadily clean out the division, despite an earlier loss on his record.
You know, with that, I know, like, there's the Fundoras and Vergils, like, they all have to fight each other to even come to that conclusion. I mean, is that, amongst those guys, is there someone stand out a little bit more, or is it still kind of 50-50 across?
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Vergil and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Fundora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those two or three, you know, like the Four Kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxing fans, we just sit back and wait.
Turning to Ennis' win over Xander Zayas, McIntyre said Ennis had cleared a major hurdle and is now positioned for his next big test. He drew a historical comparison likening the current buildup among top welterweights to the way Marvin Hagler's win over Tommy Hearns set the stage for the next great matchup of that era, joking that fans are now waiting to see who steps up next, the way Sugar Ray Leonard or Roberto Duran once did.
So, you know, Boots, he got over that hurdle, a big hurdle. So it's on for the next one.
For sure.
That's like when Marvin Hagler beat Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right, he's down there, and then now we got Sugar Ray Leonard next, or Roberto Duran next, you know, so everybody just sit by.
Boxing analyst Timothy Bradley Jr. said he believes Sebastian Fundora is one of the few fighters who could give Jaron Boots Ennis real trouble, but stressed this is due to Fundora's physical attributes rather than superior boxing skill. Bradley pointed to Fundora's reach, volume, punching power, and ability to control distance as tools that make him a difficult, awkward opponent for anyone to close the distance on.
Give Boots a run from his money. He could. And I only say that because of his attributes. Not because of his boxing skills. It's because of his attributes. That's why. This guy has, and it's Sebastian Fundora. You guys know who he is. He's a southpaw too, right? He has range. He has volume. He has punching power as well, okay? He knows how to keep his distance. He's difficult. I know he's been knocked out before. I know that. But you gotta go through a dang rain of fire to be able to get close to this guy if he don't want you to get close. Now, everybody's saying, well, Thurman was supposed to get whooped. I told y'all Thurman was gonna get whooped too. Y'all heard it here too. Y'all said he gonna get whooped. Okay, but I was studying the film the other day, and Boots has the style that I believe that can give him fits because of his elusiveness.
Bradley claimed Fundora currently has a full year to fulfill a WBC mandatory obligation, but is choosing not to pursue a fight with Ennis, suggesting Fundora's team wants no part of that matchup, while Vergil Ortiz Jr. remains tied up in litigation. A fight Bradley said he personally wants to see happen first.
That's why you see Fundora wanting to fight because he don't have to fight his mandatory. I'm letting y'all know that right now. He got a year to fight his mandatory. An entire year with the WBC, right? And all he has to do is ask the WBC, hey, I want to pursue this bigger venture with Boots Ennis. But as you see, the manager, all right, they don't want it to do anything. They don't want anything to do with Boots. Nothing to do with Boots. And so people saying, well, Boots ain't fighting nobody. Boots ain't fight. So when now he wants to fight somebody, right? And nobody wants to fight him. And nobody wants to fight him. So we've heard that Josh Kelly might want to do it because Hearns got Josh Kelly. Okay, that's might want to do it. Vergil is tied up in litigation. Hopefully he can get his stuff together because that's the fight that I want to see first. I want to see Vergil and Boots first. But if you can't get that, then why is Fundora, hiding and ducking and, the towering inferno? And I got nothing but love and respect for him because that man is from around my way. He's from around my way. He from the valley. I got nothing but respect for Fundora, okay? But I think what it is that they see the danger in fighting him right now. He's hot right now. Let him cool down a little bit.
Bradley contrasted this with Fundora's past public callouts of Terence Crawford. When Fundora repeatedly said he wanted to test himself against the best available fighter, Bradley argued that by that same logic, Fundora should now be pursuing Ennis, whom he considers the most talented fighter in the division based on pure eye test ability.
But if he was really about that action, if he was really, Fundora was really about that action, he would tell his managers, nah, I want him. I want him. You remember when Fundora was saying that he wanted Crawford? I want to fight Terence Crawford. I want to fight Terence Crawford. I want to fight Terence Crawford. I kept hearing that from Fundora. He wanted to challenge himself against the best. Well, right now, who's considered, I would say, the best in the division or the most talented? We're not going by resume. We're going by just eye test talent. It's Boots.
Bradley argued that fighters often lose sight of the fans who ultimately fund the sport. Through ticket sales and pay-per-view purchases, drawing on his own career approach of fighting aggressively to please audiences, even at the cost of taking more punishment. He said that in a properly run sport, marquee fights like Fundora versus Ennis.
Fighters always forget that the fans, you guys at home, you guys watching, you the ones that's paying for this. Y'all the ones that buy the tickets. Y'all the ones. I was a fighter, I understand that. That's the reason why I fought the way I fought. Tim, you got hit a lot. You got hit a lot. I was short. I had a big head. Yeah, I slipped punches as well. I did get hit quite a bit because I'm being aggressive, because I'm trying to please the fans at home. Okay? So, Fundora, Josh Kelly, all these fights, they should be made. If boxing was a sport, it was a real sport and ran the right way, those fights will be happening. We wouldn't have to wait 10 years, 15 years, 5 years.
Shifting to Fundora's next scheduled bout, Bradley predicted a comfortable win over his upcoming opponent, describing him as a short, stocky, forward-pressing fighter with some power but limited technical ability and reach, who Bradley expects Fundora to stop given his mismatched size advantage.
Fundora's gonna fight this guy, what's his name? Ermel Hadriba. He's I think he's an Albanian, if I'm not right. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's Albanian. He is. Got some pop on his shots. I was watching him last night. He ain't gonna have anything for Fundora. Nothing at all. Makes a lot of mistakes. Fundora's gonna capitalize on him. He's not that tall. Doesn't have very long arms as well. Very short, stubby, explosive guy. Likes to come forward. But Fundora gonna eat him up. And Fundora gonna stop him when they do fight. But like I said, Fundora, you got a year, bud, to handle that. This guy just won his title not a couple of months ago, 2 months ago. He was like the one of the little mandatory titles holders, one of those.
Showbiz defended Jaron Ennis against the criticism, arguing that a dominant stoppage with 3 knockdowns should have silenced any doubts about his ability. He also praised Xander Zayas for refusing to back down, explaining that once he realized he couldn't outbox Boots, Music chose to stand and fight instead.
Listen, bro, you cannot slap somebody on the hand for not being exciting enough, and you can't slap them on the hand for dominating somebody and dropping them 3 damn times and stopping them to become unified champion in a fight that is questioning his whole entire resume. How good is Boots really? You cannot criticize on every side, all right? Now let's talk about Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas choosing to take the fight to Boots. He did right because he tried to box him the first round. People didn't realize that. Boots Ennis was snapping his head with a jab, and Xander Zayas said, you know what? You're not going to slow groove me. We're going to have a fight right now, because he couldn't outbox him.
Ennis wasn't against Sebastian Fundora or Vergil Ortiz. It was Terence Crawford. He believed Crawford would see flaws in Boots' game, but argued there was only one way to settle the debate: step into the ring. Ola Ladipo expressed hope that the fight could be made at 160 pounds, calling it the fairest weight for both champions and the ultimate showdown boxing fans wanted to see.
As for Boots, we know what the super fight is. We know what the super fight is. The super fight isn't Sebastian Fundora. The super fight isn't Vergil Ortiz. The super fight isn't Josh Kelly. There's no one at 160. The super fight is Terence Bud Crawford. That's the super fight. And you know the thing is about Terence, yeah? A, we know Terence is a killer. Terence would have watched yesterday's fight thinking, I see holes. I see holes and I will capitalize. I'm bigger than you, I'm harder than you, I've got more experience than you, I'm better than you. Well, let's see it. All these things can be said. There's only one way to decide that. Get in the ring. Get in that 22 by 22 foot squared ring with your 10-ounce gloves and let's throw down. And I think Terence is going to. Terence tweeted something along the lines of, almost like, don't tempt me type vibe. And you know what Terence is like? Terence is a street kid. You kind of push that street kid and say it's easy work, as Boots is doing. Terence will make you find out if it is easy work, and it ain't easy work. I hope His Excellency Turki al-Sheikh was watching, because he's the one that can make that fight. Both of these guys want to get paid, and he can make that fight, and a fair weight class is 160. That's
Robert Garcia urged boxing to make Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz the next fight, believing there was no better matchup available. He noted that plans were already moving in the right direction for Ortiz, making the showdown more realistic than ever. Garcia felt Ennis's latest performance only increased the excitement, predicting the clash would be one of the best fights of the year. In his view, their aggressive styles were a perfect match, and he believed the rivalry could produce multiple unforgettable battles that fans would never get tired of watching.
Let's do it next. Let's do that fight next. I know Vergil's already, everybody already knows, everybody already hears that things are looking good with Golden Boy, working things out. Plan is to get Vergil before the end of the year. Let's make this fight happen. Let's do it, because it's going to be a great fight. Vergil style, Boots, what Boots just did last night, it just tells the boxing world that it'll be one of the best fights of the year whenever it happens. It's a great fight. These guys could fight 2 or 3 times, and the fans won't stop watching.
Sean Zittel hailed Jaron Ennis's victory over Xander Zayas as an instant classic. He praised Boots for 4 fearless all-action style and willingness to take risks inside the ring. Zittel believed Ennis delivered the kind of performance that reminded music fans why boxing is so exciting. He even placed Boots alongside David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, and Naoya Inoue as one of the sport's most entertaining fighters today.
Right after Jaron Ennis knocks out Xander Zayas with 3 knockdowns and a 7th round knockout in a classic fight, in a shootout that is going to be one of those fights you could replay 10, 15, 20 years from now and it'll still be fun to watch. So let's get right into it from the jump. Round 1 happens and Ennis lands his first 4 or 5 jabs he throws and peppers Xander Zayas. Not a good sign for Zayas right out of the gate. But Ennis, who came out using his jab, being the daredevil he is, being the explosive fighter he is, he decides to make it a fight. And that was impressive tonight by Jaron Ennis, and exciting by Jaron Ennis tonight. And I'll start on that note by saying I think Boots Ennis, David Benavidez, Bam Rodriguez, and Naoya Inoue are the most sensational fighters and spectacular fighters in boxing right now.
So, that's all we have from today's video, and we hope you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.